Hey everyone, it's Fox here. I have a new commission. My new commission is the Gundam XXXG-01H Gundam Heavyarms mobile suit from Metal Suit Gundam Wing, and the future installments after that. This one is the Bandai 100 scale Master Grade kit, as featured in Endless Waltz. I've been commissioned to build this as a fully painted model. I have to admit, straight out of the box, no pun intended, never ever watched a Gundam show. I knew what Gundam were, but never really knew what they were, never really watched the shows. So as part of the research for this, I actually sat down and watched some episodes of Mobile Suit Gundam Wing, and confused the heck out of me for the first few episodes. I hadn't got a clue what was going on, it was so confusing. So I went and read the story synopsis, and then it kind of made sense. It was quite good, I quite enjoyed it. It's a bit dated nowadays, you know, it's early 90s, but you forgive it for that. But yeah, I'm going to be building this. The client wants it painted and weathered, if possible still posable, so that's going to be interesting. I've been planning the build, how I'm going to do it. I'll show you the many sprues, instruction book there. As is classic for Bandai, it's a snap fit kit, and there are approximately all the parts, all coloured, so it's pre-coloured basically, which is kind of handy for painting. Yeah, all those tiny parts I've got to paint. Woohoo! So I've been trying to logistically plan how I'm going to paint this. The only way I can think of doing it, because I need to not go too heavy on the paint in some places, because there'll be a lot of hinges and ball socket joints and things. So what I've kind of figured is that the grey sprues are mostly internal parts, the internal, apart from, like, you know, the Gatling laser and the combat knife and stuff and the shield. Most of these are internal framework parts. So I'm going to prime these. There's one sprue being primed already. Priming them on the sprue. They'll be painted German grey on the sprue, or a similar colour depending on what I decide to go for. Then they'll be removed as needed. There'll be obviously a little bit of wear and tear on the paint where it's been cut off the sprue, so they'll be touched in, but the majority of this stuff actually isn't seen because it's underneath all the armour plating, so that's fine. Then I've got to figure out how to wash and weather it, and what I'm probably going to do is varnish with what our American cousins call Future, what we call Pledge multi-surface wax, by brush, washes. That way I can be careful not to get any on all the ball and socket joints. Then I can mask off any ball and socket joints and spray the final matte varnish on. I don't know, I'm kind of still trying to figure it out in my brain. It's really complicated, and I've spent last night going in my brain, because it's like trying to herd cats. So I've not quite figured that one out. We'll get there. The other parts in the box, the red, white, and orange parts and yellows, they're all exterior plating and bits like that, so they can be painted off the sprue. And I'm going to be priming them, pre-shading them with my rubber black, and then painting the relevant colours. And what else have we got? We have what comes in the model, which are basically some stickers for the eyes, the eye mask and the bits over the head, and then you've got these horrendous dry rub transfers, and I don't know anybody else in the world that does dry rub transfers apart from Bandai. I'm led to believe they're kind of slowly coming away from this and getting used to the idea of doing water slide decals in with the kit. I've actually ordered the actual decals, water slide decals, made by Bandai, so they do make them, they're just separate. So I've ordered those, and as you can see, they are all the tiny decals in the world. Going to take me forever to apply all those. So, sorry, wobbly camera. So yeah, I'm not going to use any of those. I'll obviously use the... I don't know if the mask and green parts come in the decals. I doubt it, because these are shiny. So I'll use those in the kit anyway, but I won't use the dry rub transfers. I'll keep these for other projects. Got these from japancool.co.uk, I think. This is the customer's model. He sent it to me, so I don't know where this has come from. I've also got somewhere, but not to hand, the display stand. Sorry for the jump cut there, I actually went and found it. Yes, I got myself the Action Base, Bandai's Action Base. It's designed to fit most of their Gundam figures. pretty much the 1/44th or 100th scale HG and MG series. So that should look quite spanky. Also, we've got the instructions, all in Japanese, all, not a word, well, the only English bits are the headers of each section. Now I guess it's kind of fair play for Bandai, because I suppose Gundam is massively popular in Japan for modelers, and maybe, although it's popular elsewhere, maybe not as popular. It does seem a little strange though, in this day and age, they're still doing instructions in just Japanese, and they're still doing decals as dry rub transfers. For the quality of Bandai kits, and what I've seen, they're excellent quality and outstanding tooling, but some aspects they seem a bit behind. But I think it's kind of cool to have these in Japanese. They're kind of straightforward. I had to look up a couple of the symbols. And you can actually find English ones online, so I've downloaded those, so if I do get stuck. But yeah, they should be straightforward. We'll have some fun with that. But yeah, the plan for this, as I say, is to probably going to keep it as a snap fit kit, not glue anything, because I don't need to. Bandai kits generally are excellent quality and really well made, so they do go together like a dream, if somewhat fiddly. And they are very sturdy, so I shouldn't need to actually glue any of this. Hopefully I can just concentrate on the painting, which would be nice. As I say, the customer would rather me keep it posable if I can, so it's another reason not to try and glue anything, because I don't want to screw anything up. We're going to go for the traditional colour scheme, as advertised, but we're going to have some weathering on it, kind of to match this, to look a bit more used and worn. I like the sort of clean Gundam, but yeah, they're combat machines. They're not nice and pristine. And I wouldn't make a nice and pristine one, because you know me, I'm allergic to not weathering. So I don't think I'm going to make it horribly rusty and really cruddy, but I'll make it nice and weathered anyway. I'll probably do some paint chipping. I've got some ideas floating around my head that keep me awake at night. I don't know if other model makers, if you have this, but if I have a thought about something, like I'm thinking, right, this is what I'm going to do with this model. I go to bed at night and I'm lying there planning it in my head and I'm visualising the weathering, and I just can't sleep. I have to force myself to not think about anything. Just basically, I'm sad. So yeah, we're going to give it some good weathering, probably some paint chipping. I'm going to see if I can cleverly use washes to get all the panel lines, rather than the traditional Gundam markers. A lot of people use a fine Gundam marker in the panel lines. I might see if I can avoid that. I don't particularly want to buy some Gundam markers just for one or maybe 2 or 3 Gundams. So we'll see what happens. I might end up having to get some anyway. It is my first Gundam kit, and it's actually my first Bandai kit. I know a lot of their reputation. I've seen a lot of their stuff done, and I've seen people. I've spoken to people who built them and have a lot of praise for Bandai. So I'm hoping it lives up to that. But it's my first Bandai, first Gundam. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a slightly different type of video series to normal. It's not going to be showing me making stuff. This is a commission. My golden rule is, if it's a commission, if it's just me building it for myself, or like the D'Agostini Falcon, or something like that I'm doing for fun, I'll quite happily film myself building it and doing stuff, because I can take it. When you film a build, it's really quite time consuming, and you have to work in little spurts. When it's a commission, I don't do that. When it's a commission, I'm being paid to do it. I get the client gets my 100%. I can't speak today. I'm having another non-speaking day. The client gets 100% of my attention. So what I will do though, because I want to show you something, is I'll obviously be doing a little write-up on modelmaking.guru, and I'll put stuff on Facebook, but I'll do little videos that just say, hey, this is how far we've got, here's where we are, this is what I've done so far. Just little catch-up videos. So do tune in for the next one. But that'll do it for this time. I've primed 1 sprue so far, so I've only got like 1,000 other sprues to prime. So stay tuned for the next one, when hopefully we've got everything primed. Probably started some of the base painting, some of the pre-shading, I would suspect. Right, anyway, enough waffle. I've got to go off and start painting this and building this. So come back and we'll have something to show you. So until then, as always, adios amoebas.